Picture a factory floor buzzing with energy. Workers are clustered around modern data tablets, tweaking processes and identifying inefficiencies through Kaizen, the practice of making small, daily improvements to their workflow. The momentum is palpable, and the team is engaged. But there is a looming question. How long can this sudden burst of frontline motivation actually last? This chart tracks worker engagement over time, and it reveals a harsh reality. After an initial surge of excitement, the line almost inevitably plummets. Within 6 months, the vast majority of these transformation projects quietly die. When the progress stalls, executives usually blame the people on the floor. They diagnose the failure as stubborn employee resistance or a simple refusal to change. Blaming the workers is a convenient shield. The actual cause of death usually starts at the top, when executives abandon the project the moment they finish signing the budget. This is executive abdication. A CEO approves a budget, assigns a mid-level project manager to the task, and then steps away under the guise of empowerment. Delegating a massive operational overhaul to a middle manager is an organizational death sentence. That manager lacks the reach to influence any team outside of their own department. Consider a production engineer who wants to reduce inventory by stopping massive bulk orders. Without executive backing, they hit an impenetrable wall. Purchasing rejects the request because small batches drive up their cost per unit metric. The engineer's goals collide directly with purchasing's KPIs. A budget check cannot dismantle these structural silos. Only direct executive authority has the power to rewrite the rules of the organization. To keep a transformation from flatlining, the executive must step back into the process. This requires them to adopt 2 distinct complementary personas. The first role is the sponsor, the wielder of hard power. A sponsor focuses on the structural environment, ensuring the project has the operational room it needs to survive. They force conflicting departmental KPIs to align and grant the one resource no middle manager can: time. A sponsor will intentionally pause production quotas just to give workers the breathing room to think and innovate. The second role is the champion, the cultural vanguard. This is the wielder of soft power who protects the emotional momentum of the project. The champion spends their time on the factory floor. They establish psychological safety, allowing workers to fail without fear of punishment, and they ensure that even the smallest wins are celebrated publicly. True transformation requires both. You need the structural clearing provided by the sponsor and the cultural energy driven by the champion. We can see this in action at Siam Smart Assembly, an electronics manufacturer that struggled to roll out a digital e-Kanban system. The project hit a stalemate. The IT department was too swamped to integrate the software, and the purchasing team simply refused to trade their old methods for new tablets. The CEO stepped in as the sponsor. He radically shifted the IT department's priorities, making the software integration their top objective for the entire year and authorizing extra help to handle their routine work. Then, as the champion, he walked the production floor weekly. He stood with the hesitant purchasing staff, personally encouraging them as they navigated the learning curve of the new system. Because the head of the company was personally involved, the silos collapsed. IT finished the integration in weeks, purchasing adopted the new tools, and inventory levels dropped 30%. Technical managers cannot solve structural gridlock. It requires an executive willing to personally rewrite the rules of play. To see where your own organization stands, you can run a rapid-fire diagnostic on your leadership. First, check the monthly board agenda. Is the transformation a standing item at every meeting, or did it disappear after the annual kickoff? Second, look at the reporting. Does leadership demand only green numbers representing success, or do they welcome red numbers as proof that the team is learning? Third, listen to the feedback. Is the executive asking for immediate financial ROI, or are they asking what new skills the team has acquired? Finally, look at the CEO's own office. Is it an organized example of the same precise standards they demand from the factory floor? Corporate policies are just words on paper. A project's true priority is revealed by these tangible actions, the environment the leader keeps, and how they react when things go wrong. This philosophy is grounded in the work of Paul O'Neill, who transformed the culture at Alcoa by focusing relentlessly on worker safety. He changed it through uncompromising personal involvement on the factory floor. Automation, AI, and lean methodologies are powerful vehicles, but without an active driver at the wheel, they are useless. The ultimate responsibility for crossing the chasm of change lies entirely with the executive who is actually steering the machine. Once a leader sparks this innovation, a new challenge emerges. How do you ensure this daily momentum actually aligns with your overarching business model? We'll explore that connection in the next episode.